Hello everyone, this is the fourth in the segment of the dress code for davening, and today I'd like to deal with the GARTEL. I'm sure you've seen many people come to shul with the GARTEL. The question is there any basis for this, and does it apply in our generation? So, this goes to a Gemara that starts in Daf Tet Amud Bet, goes into Yud Amud Aleph in Masechet Shabbos. It deals with the question of, do you have to stop a meal to daven? And indeed, it says that back in Babylonia, when they started a meal, they unbuckled their belt in order to have room to eat. And when they got up, they obviously buckled their belt in order to make it very tight as they walked around the streets. In that context, comes along one of the Amoraim named Rav Sheshet and says, with due respect, it's such a hard thing to buckle your belt. And then he says, and if it is such a hard thing, and I quote his words, Leiku hachev eleitzli, so let him daven without a belt. The Gemara answers, you can't do that. Why? Because Hikon likarat malachecha Yisrael. You have to come before God to befit a king, and you don't do that without a belt on. So based on that, indeed, the Tosfot on that Gemara in Daf Yud Amud Aleph in Masechet Shabbos says, Mikan, from here we learn, shetzarich la'azor chalatzav keshem mitpalel, that you have to wear something around your waist when you daven. The Rosh repeats those words. Mikan nireh, from here we learn, shetzarich la'azor chalatzav keshem mitpalel. Indeed, you have to put something around your waist when you daven. And as the saying goes, it's not just in the Ashkenazi world of the Tosfot and the Rosh. The Ran, Rabbeinu Nisim in the Sephardic world, says explicitly, Umehashma'inan, from here we learn, even someone that wears pants. In other words, he's wearing something between this part of his body and the bottom part of his body. So at the bottom line is, many poskim say that you have to wear something around your waist when you daven. Having said that, there are other opinions on that Gemara, even in the world of the Rishonim. For example, the Tosfot quotes the Machzor Vitri, and I admit I looked and I could not find it in the Machzor Vitri, but he quotes it, as does the Rosh, that says explicitly that this whole Gemara was talking about people that did not wear pants. Therefore, they need to put something around their waist when they davened. But us, because we wear pants, and that indeed is on our waist, and there's no reason whatsoever to put on something like a belt above and beyond it. And indeed, Rabbeinu Yerucham, again, one of the Rishonim, who quotes, Yesh mi shekatav, there is someone that wrote, he doesn't say who, that the only person that has to wear this belt that the Gemara talks about is someone that holech kol hayom, that goes the whole day with a belt. Aval misha holech kol hayom belo chagura en tzarich lagol et tefillah. In a word, if you don't wear a gartel all day, you don't have to. Finally, the Rosh says another opinion, and that is, maybe it's not an obligation, but mitzvah la'azor, and indeed is a mitzvah. So to sum up, in the world of the Rishonim, we find four opinions. Number one, an opinion quoted by the Tosfot, the Rosh, the Hagaot Maimoniot, the Ran, and I have to admit, even my research in the Machzor Vitri that says it, halacha l'maaseh, they all say, basically, you have to wear something above and beyond your clothing, namely a gartel, around your waist. On the total other side, we find the Machzor Vitri that says that this whole Gemara was in a time where they did not wear pants, and since we wear pants, we don't need this extra belt. Or we have the opinion of Rabbeinu Yerucham that says this is only at a time when indeed you wore a belt all day above and beyond your clothing. But if you did not wear a belt all day above and beyond your clothing, then you of course don't have to wear it for davening only. But there's a fourth opinion, and that is the Rosh that says it might be a mitzvah. So 4 opinions in the Rishonim. How do we paskin la halacha? The Shulchan Aruch quotes the Gemara verbatim. Rav Yosef Karo says, Tzarich lazor b'sha'at tefillah, afilu yesh lo avnei she'en libo loret harva mishum hikon. The Shulchan Aruch says very explicitly you have to wear this gartel, and even if you have a belt on, namely a buckle belt that you wear around your waist for your pants, it makes no difference. You still need to wear a gartel. I throw out the question, how come Sfardim, who follow Rav Yosef Karo blind in many cases, don't wear a gartel? Very interestingly. I really don't understand it. But the Magen Avraham quotes the other Rishonim, namely one of Yerucham that basically says, and I quote, Misha holech kol hayom b'lo chagura eino tzarich la'azor b'sha'at tefillah. Whoever doesn't wear a gartel all day does not have to wear it for davening. The Mishnah Berurah says this and repeats it. Yesh omrim, the dafka misha ragil kol hayom b'chagura, aval misha holech kol hayom b'lo chagura, gam b'shat tefillah en tzarich kagur. So, lahalacha, we have 2 opinions of the 4 that were paskind. Opinion number 1 is you have to wear it, and opinion number 2 is that's only someone that wears a gartel all day. But if you don't wear a gartel all day, you don't have to wear it for davening. Interestingly, the opinion that says we wear pants today does not make it into the Shulchan Aruch. The 3rd opinion is the Mishnah Berurah that says it might be a midat chasidut, above and beyond the letter of the law, to wear this for davening. So, at the end of the day, how do we paskin? There's 4 opinions in the Rishonim. There's 3 opinions that made it into Shulchan Aruch. How do we paskin? And I'd like to give my opinion on this based on Rav Moshe Sternbuch. As you can see from the picture, Rav Moshe Sternbuch does not dress like me. He dresses like a Hasidic Jew, long kapota, streimel on Shabbos and Yontiv. And from this perspective, I think his words are even more impactful in this regard. Rav Moshe Sternbuch comes along and says the following words. He basically says that if you wear a long coat, he calls it a chalet, we sometimes call it a bekeshe, think of a kittel, then it makes sense to wear this belt, because it fits in. You're wearing something long and you divide it in the middle. But, says Rav Moshe Sternbuch, if you're not wearing this long bekeshe or chalet, but you're wearing shirt and pants, so you're wearing a very small suit, then there's absolutely no reason to wear a gartel, because it doesn't fit in. At the end of the day, he says, the whole Gemara started with, you have to wear a belt because of Hikon Likrat Molachecha Yisrael. It's befitting a king. But if you're going to wear a gartel on a small, short suit or on shirt and pants, it looks ridiculous. And therefore, he says, it's obviously not the right thing to do. And therefore, he says, that's why the Rambam didn't paskin it. The Rambam didn't paskin it because, obviously, in his time, they weren't wearing these long robes, and thus, there's no reason to wear it. So, at the end of the day, that's the way I paskin. If you're going to wear a nice, long kittel, then in my humble opinion, you need to have a belt, and most kittels come with a belt, and if you don't have one, buy a gartel. I think that's the appropriate and suitable thing to do. But if you don't wear this long bekeshe, chalet, or kittel, then I think it looks rather ridiculous to come before God with this gartel. It really doesn't fit into your clothing. And allow me to end with a story that I heard from Rav Hershel Shechter Shlita many times in the name of Rabbi Schwab, Zichrono Livracha. Rabbi Schwab was giving a lunch and learn in Manhattan, and then they daven mincha. And some person there says, oh my gosh, I forgot my gartel. So he took off his tie, and he put it around his waist. And Rabbi Schwab couldn't hold himself in, and in shul he says the guy looked not like befitting a king, he looked like a clown, an absolute clown. He says, today, that gartel of the Gemara that they used to put around their waist is actually the tie that we put over here. In other words, when you wear a nice jacket and you put on a tie, it fits into your clothing. But when you take the tie off and you put it around your waist, you look like a clown. So at the end of the day, the gartel is not written in stone. The gartel is a means to come before God to befit a king, but only if it fits in to your clothing.
Was todo fez,